This matter involves the future of a relationship. You'll know who this person is because they are the most influential person in your life right now. They will tell you that often, but maybe there's a need to adjust expectations. This matter involves a health and safety risk where you cannot move forward until it's resolved. This involves a past relationship trauma with a false person where a psychological disorder is produced to cope with the grief, burden, or loss. This struggle to release is quite literally a trigger impacting them or you psychologically and hindering trust, intimacy, and communication. These relationships are demanded and protected by lawmakers because it serves a strong political purpose. The corruption has been keeping you apart. If this is a legal matter, you've been in a judiciary contempt with a confirmation bias where they relentlessly juggle two opposing beliefs with an internal moral dilemma. It is deeply ingrained and often subconscious. This is where they justify inequity with a mental shortcut to simplify information processing. They constantly devalue contradictory evidence, and much of this is a shadow attachment to wealth or a difference in lifestyle values and defense mechanisms. Some of this is existing belief or outmoded belief. Some of this is a traumatic response where they have been recalling information, only include the favorable outcomes, or alter the facts of reality to cope with the loss and damage. A false person relationship trauma is a third eye chakra healing where this person was involved in a deception, lie, vengeance, or spite. It was a person that they did not discern clearly or formed an improper attachment. These are dangerous relationships where they have had a vendetta, a prolonged bitter feud between families, factions, social classes, or even racial groups. You have been successful at taming their unhinged egos and have promoted unity. It forced them to take a hard look in the mirror and address some things that they have been excluding from their realities. You may inherit their property and organization, and you need aloneness to preserve all the information. Resolving this dynamic mechanism activates your deep connection to the physical plane and has you relating to everything and all that exists. Much of this has been prolonged, but your endurance is making you a superstar. You are a newborn star getting crowned and gloried, and what you have discovered has been on the brink of the unknown for quite some time. The elders in the senior leadership have entrusted you as their heir because they know that you will protect their namesake and legacy. You have shown them an immense amount of care and compassionate benevolence, inspiring a miraculous healing they didn't know was possible. Turns out respecting your elders and taking their advice wins more hearts and minds than the salty sea crabs at the bottom of the barrel. Their perspective have changed, and they no longer see you as a wild rebel, but a protector of their sanctity. There has been a long feud of challenging an expectation, enabling a destructive behavior from a delusional rival with no methodology or not enough skills. This is a potential intelligence explosion, helping you address safety concerns, creating problems of alignment to your manifestation. In legal matters, you are addressing an existential threat. Your innovation is solving a complex and world altering problem with scales and productivity gains that cannot be beat. You are moving around a political debate regarding regulation and your long term impact. But you are a superstar, and you are a type of entity that cannot be argued with. So don't argue with the workers. In these cycles, you are working on your social skills, sleep, and creativity, and accessing a super intelligence for health and safety threats. You are receiving a high honor for your capacity to ponder deep, complex questions about human existence, life, death, and the fundamental reality that lies beyond. You are superior intelligence, and you have a higher, more fundamental concept of reality than these delusional people that have been in a one sided conflict. You are beginning to understand your place in the cosmos and navigate a legacy with a long term and complex outlook. This is a layered compromise and an understanding that the nature of existence is not to be argued with, But there are biological liberties where people will choose to deviate from that. Divas Can Manifest Org is a health and safety organization. The Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996, also known as HIPAA, is a federal law establishing national standards to protect sensitive patient health information from disclosures without consent, or a Food and Drug Administration violation could be involved here. This personal injury could be a medical malpractice with covered entities like healthcare providers, insurance fraud plans, clearinghouses, or some other form of financial securities. The false person that has been injuring you is after your wealth that cannot be stolen because it is insured. But insurance fraud could be the problem. You have been on the advantage with a greater leverage. You have an advanced technique or a strategic tool and resource that allows you to borrow capital and maximize results and amplify those gains. You have a competitive advantage, and your high honors have scaled, and people double down with an increased investment. You have a strategic influence and have been highly unlikely to be replaced. Cloud chasers are inevitably disillusioned by the successor and the originator of these innovations. Your key resources are the maximum advantage with a high value proposition and an infrastructure that inevitably dismantles something false, like the cloud chasers. Your high value proposition is an influence that makes this all a huge luxury that they yearn for and gather around by the masses. Just be patient and humble, but driven. You are assessing your payload. You are assessing your payload. This is your actionable revenue generating core and your bread and butter. This is the functional part where you're focusing on your top lines as your competitive advantage and whatever has been enabling you to cut costs significantly. You are the successor, the hero, the heir, and you are starting to take over.